Most people live inside a mental box they didn't build. A box shaped by culture, school, tradition, fear, habit, and the opinions of people who never truly knew themselves. They move through life convinced that their viewpoint is reality. Yet their entire worldview is only a tiny fragment of what the world actually is. But once in a lifetime, a person reads a certain kind of book, the kind that expands the walls of the mind so quickly that returning to the old worldview becomes impossible. These are the books that don't just change your thoughts, they change your eyes. After reading them, the world looks sharper, deeper, more connected, more fragile, more dangerous, and more beautiful. Today, in this episode of Sethtra Books, we explore 9 extraordinary books that completely transform the way you see life, people, power, and your own potential. The first book is Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. This book does something rare. It zooms out the lens of human history so wide that everything you believed about society, religion, money, power, and civilization suddenly rearranges itself. Harari explains how almost everything we take seriously, nations, corporations, religions, gender roles, political systems, began as collective stories humans agreed to believe. When you finish this book, you realize the world is not as solid as it looks. It is a story we are constantly rewriting. And that realization makes you powerful, because once you understand the stories, you can choose which ones to keep and which ones to walk away from. The second book is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. This book destroys the illusion of talent. Most people believe successful people are born different. Gladwell reveals the truth. Success is rarely an individual miracle. It is a pipeline of hidden advantages, timing, environment, luck, and deliberate practice. This book humbles your ego, but empowers your ambition. It shows you that greatness is not magic, it is math. And when you see the patterns behind achievement, you stop envying others and start building your own runway. The third book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book rewires your understanding of change. Most people think success comes from dramatic effort. Atomic Habits shows that real transformation is the result of small actions repeated with precision. Identity shapes behavior, and behavior shapes destiny. Clear teaches you how tiny habits compound into massive results. After reading it, you no longer believe in big goals. You believe in small systems. 1% better each day is enough to redesign your entire life. You see progress everywhere, and suddenly nothing feels impossible. The fourth book is The Power of Myth by Joseph Campbell. This book reveals something profound and often forgotten. Humans live through stories more than facts. Campbell shows how myths from every civilization carry universal messages about fear, courage, purpose, death, love, and transformation. After reading this book, you start recognizing archetypes in movies, in politics, in lovers, in leaders, even in yourself. You begin to understand why people behave in seemingly irrational but deeply symbolic ways. The world becomes more poetic, more meaningful, and more connected. The fifth book is The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. This book is not easy, but it is transformative. Becker argues that most human behavior is driven by a secret fear of mortality. Our ambition, our insecurity, our need for validation, our anxiety, our desire for legacy, all are attempts to escape the reality that we will one day disappear. When you see this clearly, your priorities shift. You stop chasing shallow recognition and start pursuing what truly matters. Life becomes sharper, deeper, and strangely more peaceful. The sixth book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Many underestimate this book because of its simplicity, but simplicity does not mean weakness. This book teaches a spiritual truth hidden inside a fictional journey. The world changes when you change. When you commit to your personal legend, doors open, signs appear, and the path reveals itself. The Alchemist makes you see everyday life as a living conversation between your soul and the world around you. After finishing it, you walk differently, think differently, and feel differently. The seventh book on our list is The Righteous Mind by Jonathan Haidt, and it's a real eye-opener. If you want to understand why people disagree, fight, argue, and see the world in opposite moral colors, this book is essential. Haidt explains the foundations of human morality and how we all live inside different moral universes. Reading this book makes you less angry, more curious, and unexpectedly compassionate. It expands your mental world from I am right to there are many ways to see the world. The eighth book is The Fifth Discipline by Peter Senge. This book changes the way you see organizations, systems, and groups. It reveals the invisible structures behind success and failure, feedback loops, mental models, teamwork, discipline, and shared vision. After reading it, you stop blaming individuals and start understanding systems. You realize that problems are rarely personal. They are structural. This book shifts your perspective from frustration to strategy. The ninth and final book is The Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, written by a legendary samurai. This book teaches clarity, discipline, and strategic thinking through silence and precision. Musashi teaches you to see that which cannot be seen. You begin to understand rhythm, timing, emotional neutrality, and the importance of controlling your inner state before controlling the outer world. After reading it, life becomes less chaotic and more strategic. You begin moving with intention, not reaction. And when you combine all 9 books, the transformation is unstoppable. Your worldview expands beyond your culture, beyond your habits, beyond your fears. You begin seeing patterns in society, in human nature, in systems, in behavior, and in yourself. You move from emotional reactions to deep awareness. You begin to live consciously instead of accidentally. These books don't teach you what to think, they teach you how to see. If you want more powerful book journeys, subscribe to Sethtra Books, where learning is cinematic, psychological, emotional, and unforgettable. Here, we don't just read books, we open worlds. Learn, reflect, rise. Sethtra Books.